channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Thuy and we have my sister Hong back on the channel.
Woohoo! It's been a long time coming and Happy New Year, guys.
I don't know if you've been noticing, but I've been changing it up on my channel, okay? 1 week's a makeup video, the second week is a vlog, the third week is a Q&A. We're keeping it spicy, keep you guys on your toes because we're trying to reach 500k for 2024.
Yes,
okay?
we got goals to meet.
Yeah, so hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Me and my sister today are going to be doing a little Valentine's special. We're going to be talking about love, sex, rock and roll, how to keep your relationship spicy, and just giving you guys our advice.
And all the dilemmas that you guys are facing, you've sent them in. We're going to read them and give you our opinion. Firstly, since we're on Valentine's Day, let's give you an update regarding to my relationship. It's officially going to be 1 year since I met my man.
Yep.
Who would have thought that this day would come?
Exactly, and they're actually moving in together as well.
Once you move in, it's all going down.
It's going downhill, girl. Brace yourself.
But do you feel that it's also like an effort thing? If you consistently always make effort, it wouldn't get to that stage?
Yeah, but that's the hard thing, isn't it? You need to make the effort. No one remembers to make the effort because you just fall into your old habit ways. So it's like being aware that you need to make the effort, right? And on the other hand, if you guys are new around here, I've been in a relationship since I was 15 years old. So I'm like 31 now, so that's like half of my lifetime. I've been with my boyfriend Guang for 15 years now, and it's been a long 15 years. And honestly, I can say that I love him now more than ever. I've gone through like couples therapy, we've done rapid transformational therapy as well. So we've worked on our relationship loads, and I feel like we've grown like so much from when we were like really young. And I feel like, especially with the way that we were brought up as well, I feel like it's very easy to fall into like a toxic relationship, and it's really easy to just carry on, you know.
This is all you know, right?
Yeah.
When one is grown, both of you guys have to grow at the same pace because someone could be left behind if they're not also evolving.
Yeah, and that's how people grow apart. I want you guys to comment down below as well. Any advice for any of these gals? Okay, I want us all to be like sisters there for each other. I don't like my sister's boyfriend. Any advice? And I also got another question about my mum doesn't like my boyfriend. So it's kind of like similar. So I feel like we can like answer both questions.
I think this is so relatable because within our culture especially, they are so cocooned in to dating your own ethnicity.
Yeah.
So it's pretty common that they don't embrace other cultures inside our community. So it is something that we can relate with. But I also feel that when scenarios like this that arise, you have to give them timing. Over time, they're likely more to accept it. And your partner over time has to prove he is this trustworthy person that is likable, you made the right decisions, and therefore your family's going to slowly embrace him into the future. And when they know that, oh my God, she's been with him for like X amount of time, there's no getting away now. It's more likely you're going to accept. Because Thuy was in this scenario, wasn't you?
Yeah, so my mum didn't approve of Graham for like years. Well, I don't know if it's not approve him. She just didn't want me to have any boyfriend in general. And it got to the point where I was never wanted to spend time with my family. I'd always wanted to spend time with Guang. And then it actually took my sister to talk to my mum for her to realise that, look, like at the end of the day, like she's just going to be with this person and you just have to like it or not. Otherwise, you're just going to like not have a relationship with her. And I feel like from that, that's when she realised. You just need to let her live her life. You need to be there to advise her and stuff like that. But she needs to make her own mistakes and she needs to live her life the way that she wants to live it.
Because you can come across as quite judgmental.
Yeah.
The thing is, the more you do that, you're going to push them away. You have to ensure that regardless of the decision that she makes, you might not approve of that relationship because he's toxic, he's not a good guy. But just ensure that you're there for her. You don't want to disown your sister because of that, because then she feels like she's trapped in this and she have to stick with that relationship when it goes wrong. And there's this feeling of feeling ashamed as well, because you feel like, oh my God, my family is right, and then they feel like they're scared, they won't want to come and talk to you. You're trying to think the best for your family, but yet by doing this you're actually pushing them further away.
It's so true, guys.
My boyfriend is a cack or cock. What is it?
A cock. Okay.
C-U-C-K. We need to Google this.
Okay.
And keep telling me to pursue his kink, but I don't like it. It's definitely a sexual thing because C-U-C-K.
What is a
Cock.
cock?
Sounds like a lot of gagging.
A man whose wife is sexually unfaithful.
Oh, I see this in Pornhub all the time.
So it's like when the guy's
sitting over there watching you fuck another guy. Oh, that could be kinky. No, actually, I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, I guess it's like consensual cheating because that's his fantasies. You can't yuck his yum. You know, that's what he likes.
Do you know when I was younger? You know when they say you go through the hoe phase and all that sort of stuff, and like you want to enjoy all these things. But when I think about some of the moments, I'm like, why did I do that to myself? At the end of the day, it didn't bring me any additional joy to my life. I'm like, where they are now, just added to my number.
Something that makes you feel uncomfortable, then of course like stick to your boundaries. But if you do want to, you know, explore that side of yourself and you maybe might be a bit open to it, then maybe you could try swinging first.
Yes, that's what I was going to suggest. What I was going to suggest is go to a swinging location and you can watch other people, but you are not physically involved.
Yeah, just start off like just going, looking around.
If she's not comfortable doing that, then I don't know. I feel that you definitely need to have boundaries because clearly she's not into it. When a third person gets involved, that's where the lines blur. Because you always think, oh, things are going to go well. This is going to be adventurous, more fun. And then, oh, he's got a bigger dick than you.
Yeah.
Her fanny's a bit tighter.
He might regret
She's
his
got
decision.
a bit more lube down there.
She might end up leaving her man for this new guy.
We heard that one before. And you might be catching an STD that you don't even want. You might be getting pregnant by the third guy. I think that is a lot to ask from someone. I can understand if your fantasies, I want you to dress up like a fucking nurse. Or do this and that, like go on top and ride like a cowio, yeah.
Well, I'm sure that's how people say every Saturday night. Girl, they're talking about fantasies here. Fantasies is something that doesn't happen all the time.
My friend's fantasy is like, I'll dress like a pilot, fireman. What kind of fantasy is this? Like a gangbang over here.
Anyways, let us know down below, what would you advise if your boyfriend wanted to cuck you?
I'm telling you, my boyfriend, if you're watching, you're never getting that.
This one's a long one, okay? It's a long dilemma. She answered it in 6 parts.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm going to read it out, okay?
I'll grab my teeth.
Yeah. I started talking to this guy through this mutual friend. He seemed legit at the beginning. We've been talking for 12 days now and he initiated to meet up. And I said, yeah, when the weather isn't yucky. Now he just ghosted. He texted me day 1 and then he ghosted me for 2-3 days. How do I let him know that I'm interested and if he feels the same way so I won't just be waiting on him?
Firstly, it's only been 12 days.
Yeah, girl. You're getting ahead of yourself.
I think that the way that you kind of brushed him off, it sound like you're not interested. When he's initiating a date, you're like, when the weather gets brighter, when is that, girl?
Yeah, you need to put the day and go. Even if it's rain, shine, or hail or snow.
Yes. You're not going because of the weather, you're going because of him.
Exactly. This could be your future baby daddy. And you're putting it off because of the UK weather?
That's never going to be great, girl.
Yeah, so I personally feel like you kind of brush him off, so now he's kind of took a step back.
I feel that because of your response to him, you give him a bit of leeway. By now, you have to offer.
Yeah.
Okay? And so you have to say, oh, how about I take up on that offer? It looks like the weather is always going to be doomy and gloomy.
So I just send him a screenshot of the BBC weather. Like, oh, Saturday looks like good weather.
And then, ball's in his court.
Yeah.
Now, if he's interested, he will take up the offer and suggest. If he doesn't, you know the game, girl. It's only been 12 days. You haven't invested in much. Let it go.
Yeah, exactly. I do feel like if someone goes to you for like 2-3 days, they're not really that interested, though, if I'm honest.
Also, you have to give them grace because it's only been 12 days. It's nothing serious. It's different when you're communicating and you've actually gone on a date and you've seen each other and then they ghost you. Yeah. That has more like, oh, you're not interested. You've seen me, you met me, you don't like me. That's why you're ghosting. Here, they haven't had any sort of communication, any investment. Yeah. He has every right to ghost you.
It's true. It's true, girl. So if you really want to go on a date, it's time to put
that first trap up.
Yeah. Put on the honey trap.
How can you go into the next relationship without bringing the trauma from your last relationship? Okay, I got plenty of traumas to show you guys, okay?
Then pull them out the bag.
Now, with trauma, it depends what type of trauma you're talking about. Whether it is childhood trauma.
I'm guessing like cheating, insecurity. That's what I'm guessing.
Okay.
From a relationship.
So the thing is, I think it's so important that you take time and actually get to know yourself before you jump into the next relationship. So important that you spend that time alone, get to know yourself so much. Don't take 10 years like what I did, okay?
Don't follow our footsteps. It's one of those moments where like, do as I say, not as I do.
Establish yourself in your career. Make sure you got your shit and your ducks in a line before you get into the next relationship. It's so important that you're happy with being by yourself and you're independent and you're not relying on another person for your happiness. Because when you are codependent on someone, that is when it can get toxic and you feel like you're consistently craving for that person's attention to be able to make yourself full.
You need to evaluate what went wrong and what went right in the relationship as well. Like sometimes we might blame the other person, like, oh, they cheated on you, and now you have all these insecurities. But also at the end of the day, you also have to evaluate, like, what could you have done different? There's a reason why they cheated.
But don't blame yourself because of it.
No, don't blame yourself, but you also need to realise that, oh, okay, maybe I was too trusting, or maybe I wasn't looking out for the red flags. All these things you need to evaluate, and now you learn what you can accept in a relationship and what you won't accept. Don't just go in the same trap of going for another bad boy or going for another, like, pretty guy that, like, gets all the girls.
And one thing that I learnt about coming out of a relationship, when you get into the next relationship and you find a guy that is nice, sometimes it can come across like boring, and you think that, oh, it's because there's no chemistry there. But this is the toxic mentality that you have, that you always crave for the bad guy that ghosts you, that doesn't talk to you, that comes back and is like hot and cold. That's a very addictive feeling, and it's called trauma bond, I think. Because you're addicted to that feeling, you don't know how to recognise, and you think that it's chemistry, but that's all like a little illusion that of a trauma that you're facing inside your mind mentally. And you think that the good guys that's doing all the nice things that are proactive, you think, oh, he's boring. But learn to read the signs. The good guys are the boring guys. It's you that need to deal with the problem.
Yeah. You need to find that self-worth in you and know, like, these are the things, like, your boundaries, these are things you're not going to tolerate. And then now when you go into the next relationship, you know, when things like that happen, you should be able to communicate.
I think that regardless of how much you work on your trauma, sometimes you won't overcome them. So you need to find someone that soothes that trauma.
Yeah.
Okay, so say for example, you was cheated on previously. That is something you're going to have trust issues on. So you need to find a partner. You communicate this with them and you're communicating in a healthy way. They actually soothe that by saying, okay, I'm going to tell you where I am. Yeah. I'm going to communicate with you so that it alleviates this.
Okay, the next question is, how do I turn my situationship into a relationship?
This is a hard one because men think completely different to how women think. With women, we always think that, oh, if we do more for them, they will end up liking us because we are emotional creatures. And when there's physical connection there, we develop feelings. Where men, it can just be physical and that is it. And if they don't see you as wifey material in the beginning, they ain't gonna see you as a wifey material going forward.
Yeah, that's
You're a hoe in his eyes. So you continue to be a hoe.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel that you need to cut the ties and then let him realise whether he still wants to pursue it. And if he doesn't want to pursue it, cut your losses, girl.
Tell him how you feel, put the ball in his court, and then just let him know, okay, like, if you don't feel the same, then maybe we should just, like, lock things off, because otherwise you're gonna end up keep getting more and more feelings for him, and you just know this is a dead end anyway. If he doesn't want it, then, like, you don't want to keep pursuing it and get yourself hurt for no reason.
And I feel that us women, you think, oh, the more time I spend with him, the more he's gonna like me. It ain't gonna happen, girl. You're gonna be like 40 years old, fucking with eye bags underneath there, and think, I'm still hoping. No, cut it while you're still young and while you still have the fresh punny.
Yeah, and normally it always happens when you cut them off. That's when they're like, and you start to date someone else. That's when they're like, okay, now they want you back all of a sudden.
But the thing is, you got to see your self-worth. If he doesn't want you and appreciate you while you was around, now that you gone missing, he wants you. Like, it's just a temporary fix.
It's true.
Tips for keeping it spicy in the bedroom. Ooh,
oh
gosh. My sex life should be spicy, but
I'll let you take this one, because this sex life over here is just dry and musty. Guys, there was a time where I used to tell you guys, we used to have sex every day. This is before we have this guy here. Ever since I've become a doggy mother, okay, the sex life has been dry, and even more dry.
I was like telling Thuy about this. So previously, when I first met my boyfriend, I'm like, ooh, I enjoyed the sex and everything. I went through the trauma of, oh my God, I'm scared that I'm going to get pregnant, so I'm taking contraception. And the adverse side of contraception that I never realised was get dry spell.
Your sex drive definitely goes down for sure.
Yeah, and I just feel like also like it's not lubricated down there, girl. So I'm like, oh my God, it's like sandpaper.
Oh, you need to use some lube.
It's like the disruption of pumping it down there and then like putting there, and then it's oily. It doesn't feel natural.
What I do have to say about keeping it spicy is that even though you don't want to do it, at the end of the day, there's something you should prioritise, because it is a very important thing in a relationship, and the more and more you go without it, the more and more you get disconnected from each other, I think.
And I think the longer you go without it, the more normal it becomes.
Yeah.
And then it never happens again.
Before you know, he's fucking the secretary at his workplace. So
I'm imagining wanking to porn. I don't know about that extreme.
51% of affairs is at the workplace. Yeah. So it's...
He ain't going to no after work parties over here.
You just have to set up like, okay, Wednesday's date night. Wednesday's night, okay, we both are off our phones. We're watching like a new movie and it's like a Netflix and chill. And you know, that's the night you need to, you know, wash the panani, put in the fresh thong, you know.
Just ask for keeping it spicy, babe. You're still vanilla and boring over here.
Yeah, I'm just doing the bare minimum. But spicy. Maybe try a matching bra and knickers. That's as spicy as it gets for me, guys. Oh, do you know what I saw someone else do on TikTok? Get their boyfriend to order them some lingerie and then they wear it, and then when the guy comes home, they're like wearing the lingerie that they bought. I'm like, oh, that's cute.
But you know, for women, I think foreplay starts from the very morning when you make my tea, when you make my breakfast.
Yeah.
All of that adds it up. And by the end of the day, oh, you know what you're getting.
Yeah. My relationship is getting very toxic. I've tried everything. It's getting really disrespectful. This one's a hard one. I feel like I've been here in my relationship.
Sometimes still there.
Yeah. Still in the trenches with your girl.
See, the thing is, once you go down that path, it's hard to go back.
Yeah, because that starts becoming the normal. When you guys argue, you feel like it's okay to start shouting at each other and calling each other names.
This is why it's so important to communicate that with your partner, to say that, okay, I noticed that we're going down this trend and I really want to backtrack and start a fresh slate.
Yeah, because otherwise it will become a habit.
And you need to talk about what triggers this type of reaction from both of you guys and recognize what those triggers are. So you need to come up with a way where both of you guys deal with the problem without it getting to this stage.
Yeah.
So I was watching Barack Obama's wife, and she said that she's the type of person that's really explosive when they have an argument. She's like, I'm gonna say horrible things that I don't mean. Whereas he is the resolver. He wants to resolve it there and then. He doesn't want to take time away. He's always in his thinking brain to fix it. Whereas she's like, if you want me to fix it, I need to be in the same mindset as you in the fixing stage. And for me to get to fixing stage to be where you are on that level, I need to take time away to really calm myself down and then come back and talk to you.
When is it the right time to walk away now then? You know, when it gets so disrespectful and it gets really toxic, like, how do you know when it's time to
So, at first, you worked on it, you tried, and then you said that, okay, over this 6 months, we are both going to really try. By then, hopefully, over that time, you would have learnt new ways. And if over that period when you both made that commitment and it still becomes such a regular thing, then I think it is time to walk away because you're not compatible. You can't resolve things. There are sometimes it's just that person that the way they communicate with you that just triggers this, and you guys are just not compatible, and then it becomes really damaging to not only you and the relationship, but when there's children and families involved in the future, it can get really bad. So it's good that you want to work on it now. Give that time space and that time frame to say that we're going to both work on it, and you both have to want to change, not just one of you working on it and the other person's not committed to it. So it has to be a two-way street.
Last question is,
how do you know when you found the one?
Isn't that a question that everyone wants to know? I personally feel like there's multiple the ones. And there's not one person that's going to be like the only person in the world, you know?
Yeah, so you don't believe in soulmate.
I believe you have many soulmates.
I agree. Look, there's fucking 7 billion people around the world. If you only have one soulmate or the one, that means if you get over one relation, you break up, you're never going to find the love of your life again.
Yeah.
That is not possible.
Yeah, I feel like you have different soulmates for different phases in your life. They say that you have 3 different loves in your lifetime. Coming from someone that's been in a relationship for a very, very long time, what I've learned is that, do you know, a relationship is just always evolving, and it's about evolving together. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people, when they're in a long-term relationship, it's very easy to just like grow your separate ways and stuff like that. Even when you are slowly growing apart, it's about noticing that and being like, okay, how can we kind of work on this and grow together?
In our eyes, we always think we want to find the perfect person, and that perfect person never exists, okay? There's always going to be differences. You guys are not always going to think alike 100% of the time, but it is the commitment that both of you guys choose to be together, and you choose to work on the relationship together. You choose to build together and you both choose each other. And alongside that, there needs to be some compatibility there as well, where you guys values align, you have the same sort of way of coming up with solutions when problem arises. Your communication styles are very similar, where when you hurt someone, there are ways that both of you guys can communicate that with each other.
You need to have like the same future goals, the same things that you want out of life as well. Can't really work if one person wants to live in Australia and then one person wants to live here. You need to have the same goals if you want to have kids or not.
You need to think, what is your core values, the things that are key principle that's important to you and you cannot do without. These are your core values, and that person has to meet at least 80 or 90% of those.
Anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Me and my sister actually are thinking to do this on like a monthly basis. So maybe we'll call it like Sister Sunday. Let us know if you guys want that to be like a little series that we start on my channel. If you guys haven't followed my sister yet, go follow her. She's going to be uploading 26 videos this year.
So that is once a fortnight. So this is how I'm going to keep to the schedule, because I feel once a week is too much commitment. Twice a month, I think I can manage
that.
You
can do it. Yep, start slow and then you'll get to your goal. That is it for this video, guys. Please give us a thumbs up and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Oh, how nice and cozy is this, guys? We got our little heated blanket. My sister's back on the channel.
Hey, hey, hey! Guys, clearly I've been out of work for a long time, so... Oh, shit, sorry, I'm burping up all over the place. Easy to brush it around the quarter, like brush it around the back, brush it up the arse. What to say? brush it under the side? Brush it under the carpet.
Oh, Rolo, you kind of smell like a cheesy sock, but I kind of like it. There's something about this cheesy dog smell that you like.
I don't know why they always have cheesy feet and they don't wear socks. Oh my God, that is cheesy. Something about the toes. I think it's the gap between them.
It's definitely the toe beans. Yeah, it's definitely cheesy. I feel like Rolo, because he's got short hair, you can smell his doggy odour more.
Oh, really?
He's definitely got this smell, and I always just go in a sniff. I'm like, you stink, but I keep sniffing you.
It's a bit addictive, just like the scratch and sniff when you touch the balls.
Chanel hates Rolo, by the way, guys. She's always like... That is me in the morning when Gran's trying to ask for some nookie nookie.